Hello and welcome back to the LCS. About to load into our fourth and final LCS game of the day, Evil Geniuses versus FlyQuest. In addition to beautifying our desk, FlyQuest has broken from the pack to establish themselves as the definitive second best team in the LCS. Only two teams not named Cloud9 have beaten them. One of those teams, though, is Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, and Evil Geniuses obviously are winning a lot through Bang. I do also want to point out that despite the fact that Jiizuke has gotten a lot of criticism for his poor games, he is also one of the guys that when he is on, he is so on. He's playing really well, and yeah, he could be a bit hit or miss, but he's one of the guys in the LCS that I think is legitimately a solo carry threat. He can take over a game, absolutely win it for you on his LeBlanc, on his Zoe. We've seen him do it, and he does seem to, over the last couple weeks, be tempering his aggression a bit and has been having less of those times where you're kind of scratching your head a bit when he gets caught out.
Yeah, this guy's a 6% negative jungle proximity difference, meaning he gets ganked more than he gets ganked for, and is the second place First Blood player in the LCS of all like 100-ish players that have played LCS stage so far. So talking about underperformers though, on the side of Evil Geniuses is that jungler, last but Sonda MVP, Svenskeren, faces off against Santorin, who's been good.
Yeah, I think we have seen Svenskeren having a bit of a tough time, right? He's actually bottom of the table as far as gold at 10, XP difference at 10, and that is not everything because, yes, if you were ganking a ton instead of farming, you are going to get behind in those areas, but he's also leading the league in deaths for junglers. You know, he hasn't been able to do as well as he did last split, and on the other side of the table, Santorin is leading in a lot of these categories and has been kind of finding, I think, a return to form that he had last year in spring, and then in summer he really did kind of taper off and people were wondering what happened, and now he's playing really, really well again.
Yep, Santorin's definitely great early game pressure, and FlyQuest, number 2 team in the league's got to be impressive overall. Now, stats, of course, can never tell the entire story, so we made sure to ask the man himself how he feels about the split so far.
I definitely feel it to a certain extent that it's just a lot easier to play my role right now. I wouldn't say I'm having the best split of my life or anything like that, because I do think in my past years, I actually feel like I've had really, really great splits, like where I was top 3 on like a pretty mediocre team. Whereas I feel like if I was on a really good team while being like the top 3 guy, I'd probably be like the first place jungler. So right now I definitely love having a good team because it feels like it's so much easier to play the game. And even in tank metas, I don't feel bad anymore because like especially as tanks like Nautilus, Johnny, which I played 2 games already. As me, I walk up, I click ultimate on Johnny, don't have to do anything else. I just hope my team carries me, right? Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. I feel really comfortable now that my team will carry me every time.
And yeah, honestly, in the mid lane, PowerOfEvil, that is a player who will carry you every time. Huge, huge numbers across the board.
And I think he makes a really good point, and this is something you have to take into consideration both for him and Svenskeren, is that when you are on a better performing team, you don't always have to do as risky of a play, which can sometimes, you know, turn out really poorly because you have more faith that your teammates are going to carry you, are going to make things happen. And Svenskeren maybe not having as much faith that they can play out the games in the same way that he was able to on Cloud9 when he did get that MVP. So, you know, players fitting different roles right now, but the Riven respect ban given up here.
Sure, you have to do it. I think it just continually is the tax, and honestly, Viper has been a fairly middling to lower end top laner when he isn't on that Riven. If you say, hey, you're guaranteed the 8th best top laner with 1 ban, cool, toss it in there every single time, right? That is a tax you are always willing to pay.
I mean, they have Riven ban against them 75% of the time. That is the most banned champion against FlyQuest. The next most banned is actually Rumble down at 42%. So, you know, this guy just being on your team changes pick and ban, which is an advantage in and of itself, and that's kind of your point.
Yep, big stuff right there. So we are into the picks and bans. We know right now 6th place is sitting on 6 wins. You have to keep up. 6 games to play. Evil Geniuses right below that mark at 5 and 7. FlyQuest nearing the point where they will lock playoffs for themselves. They want to stay ahead of TSM, just a game behind.
Yep.
Locking top 2 gets you a little bit easier of a matchup overall. It means C9 probably won't choose you as your first round opponent either. As the Senna comes through, that's another champion you've seen get a ton of bans, and we're expecting that to be Bang playing it, but as essentially support Senna.
Yeah, the fasting Senna is kind of, as the term has been coined, where you are starting, you know, the support item, you are not actually farming. The thing that is actually most interesting about it to me is what is paired alongside it, because we've seen a lot of different variations now around the world. We have seen Rumble, we have seen, you know, kind of more standard tank supports. We've even seen Volibear. Nautilus likely going to be the answer here. One of the things you can do as the Nautilus alongside this fasting Senna is actually go AP Nautilus. Because you have more gold, you can actually build towards those items. And we did actually see, I think it was IgNar, play that kind of AP Nautilus style last week or the week before. With this, could be top lane Janna.
If it's top lane Janna, they're really low on damage. Senna is not really a damage carry. She puts out some, and you're relying on Jiizuke, who, by the way, is not the control mage player. He's the LeBlanc guy. He's the one who's going for the split push. I think that would be a bad comp for EG. It would be a good comp for FlyQuest. PoE just like says, yeah, 50% damage share, that's a regular game for me. So Mordekaiser comes through as the intended answer to the Aatrox, and Champ's getting moved around. That Shen, I'm kind of guessing, is Shen
Support.
the support.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to play Shen on a Mord.
No, that is really not a fun matchup.
Flex Aatrox mid out of nowhere and
Yeah.
play a bad matchup top lane.
Tanks generally against Mordekaiser don't really have a fun time. Ornn sometimes can be the exception to that rule because you can have so much early game damage with the brittle procs, but Shen can be tough into Mord. Yes, you can maybe survive it, but it's not going to be a matchup where you would thrive, so I am expecting this to be that support Shen for IgNar. This is a guy who has been so creative. I really think has made a really big difference on this FlyQuest squad. This would be, I believe, his 9th unique champion.
Yep.
Played in the support role, so that's pretty cool too. And Aatrox is something that can go fairly even against Mordekaiser, but I've got to say, really, Mordekaiser in general, across pro play, hasn't often impressed me. It feels like it not really getting a lot done most of the time.
Yeah.
It's kind of even or behind in lane and rarely able to find a lot of success in team fights. It's one of those things that I think it's almost, from talking to a lot of pro players, it's people are having their opinions so shaped by scrims for this champion, where it really succeeds in these kind of scrappy games where you're fighting constantly. In pro play, where people are more willing to kind of be more defensive and go down a couple of CS when they have to and not fight as often, it's rarely finding as much success. So we'll be interested to see if Kumo can do well on it. He did have a strong Mordekaiser game earlier in the split, but it just hasn't been a champion that I've really seen be very successful overall, or at least as successful as my expectations.
Well, we'll see if Kumo can buck that trend. He should have a pretty solid matchup against Viper there. I think these two are of fairly similar skill levels, and we'll see if Svenskeren can maybe tilt that matchup here as well. Santorin's going to get Lee Sin for himself, by far his most played. It's now 6. Second place is 2.
Yeah, with Rek'Sai banned, the picks become a little bit less obvious. Pantheon would be interesting. I'm not sure if this is going to be jungle or mid. We will find out, as this last pick will get locked in, but already Nautilus plus Pantheon, a lot of gank assistance there. That can be pretty powerful as far as the engage. And when you're looking at cross-map plays, I always think Senna is so strong with that. So if you go Taliyah Pantheon plus Senna, you're looking for these global plays where Senna can assist from across the map and really make things happen. And we have seen these types of comps come in a couple times. TSM notably played it a few weeks back. It did look good for the early game, but it's tough to execute on because you have to get into the back line. You can't just fight front to back kind of slow gameplay as Pantheon. You need to be getting flanks. You need to be working really well on these coordinated engages. So I'm going to be excited if they can.
Ooh!
Let's go.
So Ahri comes in and try to kite things out, maybe get away from some of the ganks. The charm should be blocking the Pantheon stun mid-dash. I believe that got re-added a couple years ago, so could survive the matchup.
Remember, though, this could be Taliyah or Pantheon mid. We actually still don't know. This is completely flexible. I'm going to assume that they will sit on this. Taliyah does have pretty good wave clear. It is not as good as it had been at sometimes in the past. That has been nerfed quite a while ago. And Ahri is someone who you would expect to win that 1v1. So if you can actually attack the 1v1, keep Taliyah locked in lane, you're removing a lot of her power to move around the map and try to make plays with the Pantheon.
Pantheon is going to be in the jungle. I was going to mention that Mordekaiser did get jungle-specific buffs in 10.4, has follow-up buffs in 10.5. I don't think more jungle is viable right now unless you're really trying to do some funky flex pick stuff, but they already saw Aatrox, so you're not like, we picked Mord, where's it going? It's like, well, you counterpicked Aatrox with it. We know where it's going. It doesn't, you're not fooling anyone here, but maybe next week we'll see something look a little bit different. Regardless, it's going to be a fun game.
It is really going to be interesting. The kind of added wrinkle here, too, is that EG chose Taliyah Pantheon into a Shen. So that is an answer to some of those kind of global and semi-global plays that they would be looking to make. Also, we have to remember that they could be just straight up attacking the Ahri because Taliyah Pantheon have an incredible kill combo. You're locking down with a point-and-click stun right into that seismic shove combo from Taliyah, and you can find 100 to 0 type damage, get them to execute range for that Pantheon Q execute.
Let's see if they can make it happen as we get ourselves into the game. Last LCS game of the day. Stay tuned, though. Academy Showcase is in afterwards. We've got our #2 team in the league. FlyQuest is here to make their mark yet again. We'll see if they can make that one happen. Evil Genius is just outside of playoffs, but they can keep up with 100 Thieves if they can pick up a win here.
Gotta say, I've been kind of loving the two teams banter back and forth on social media as well.
Yeah.
You know, FlyQuest obviously, Go Green Initiative, planting trees for victories, e.g. all their social today, they had cutting down a tree and things like that for books. So they're both doing things for charity, but kind of in their own ways, which has been pretty fun to see them joke back and forth.
All right, Lumberjacks, see if they can make it happen. PowerOfEvil, he's so close to Svenskeren.
Ooh, this is actually the delayed play. He's going to wait for taunt, but...
IgNar gets in place. This is him being rooted now as well, and that is suddenly Shen going down. Surgeon Shen inserted himself into a very bad spot. Bang. Already has 400 gold.
I got to hit that one with the question mark ping. I get the idea. So this is actually a path we have seen before, and what he was trying to do, I'll just kind of draw this on the mini-map. You actually taunt over this wall, you come into this bush, and you wait right there until the cooldown is up, and then you try to invade behind that person. But because they did it so late in the game, and because that entrance is almost always guarded by multiple people around that side of the map, like, it's very risky, right? Usually you see that play made actually on top side.
It's also warded.
Yeah, well, yeah.
or what? Sorry.
I don't know if he was actually spotted walking across.
Oh, they warded afterwards.
He warded after, yeah. So it's one of those things where usually this is used as a top lane invade, where Gragas or Shen will go over that wall, wait for the cooldown, then wrap around behind. But it's a lot riskier on that bottom side. There's a lot more members in the area, and yes, there was some unlucky timing as Bang was walking right by as it happened. Yeah. So bit of an unfortunate start there. Bang gonna get to start with first blood. We'll be pretty happy about that. One small benefit for FlyQuest, though, is that Bang didn't actually get to spend any of that gold. Yeah,
he's got the exact expected starting item setup here, so it'll matter for the first recall. It just won't matter for the laning phase itself. Santorin able to pretty easily go red to enemy blue, and I think he's not going for Gromp here.
Yeah, something else worth pointing out, I always feel like support Shen is something I've played a fair bit in the past, because I just find Shen fun. And the actual parry zone there can be very effective against champions that do kind of have these slow auto attacks, like Senna, also like Jin, where it's about individual powerful auto attacks instead of necessarily, a constant stream of DPS. So going to be interested to track how IgNar does use that, as it really can turn around a lot of all-ins. And even if you find a hook on Turtle, if the initial round of attacks from Bang gets actually parried out by the Shen, that can really change things around.
Takes it, gets the level up. Svenskeren can see that the camp was gone, but it's going to be 3 camps apiece. As it's a very slow path to Santorin, right? His red, enemy blue, all the way across to his own wolf to preempt a Svenskeren invade. And that does do a little bit of something, but it still means that Sven gets to take this bottom scuttle.
Yep, he will get the scuttle, but they have bot lane prio, so he's probably going to get it anyway. It looks like they have mid lane prio right now, too. So Santorin able to take away a camp, not lose everything on the bottom side, and he'll still trade scuttles up on the top side. Yep. So going to be pretty happy about that, all things considered. It is cleansed from PowerOfEvil, so that is kind of just giving respect over to that combo that Jiizuke and Svenskeren can pull off. Yeah. With that Pantheon stun, you kind of need to be able to cleanse that to dodge out from the inevitable seismic shove that would be coming in Colorado.
And it's Glacial Ahri, so I'm expecting you're going to have the nice little knockback. Yep, Spooky's going to come through probably. Pulls back Kumo, not able to get more of that dive, or more of that trade, I should say, as the wave right now is pushing toward Viper. So a lot of pushing waves, as you're mentioning. Santorin is actually able to trade Gromp for Gromp, though, as he has run all the way across the Wolves, took Chickens, all the way back to Gromp, but he's keeping up in the farm as Svenskeren took his first recall and Santorin took a camp.
And this isn't warded, so Kumo potentially could be in a little bit of trouble here. We'll see if they can find any sort of angle to get the setup. Feels like it'd be a little bit obvious if he just straight up runs up, but here we go.
That's flash down, that's flash maybe to follow, but he goes to the side! And that means Kumo could get away! The Q's gonna land, but it's not enough! Kumo survives running flash for flash.
Yeah, he does trade the flash for flash. Viper flashed afterwards, though, so they did kind of want to go for that kill, I do believe. Yeah. I think they probably could have just taken the flash and been happy with it. Felt like they might have had lethal damage there, so they do look for it. And now with Jiizuke missing, it's just going to be FlyQuest bot lane. They have to back it up, but we'll see if they can actually re-enter. They may have waited around a little bit too long anyway.
Bit of poke, nothing else. The 2v4s are tough. As the wave gets thinned out, they say, okay, not enough time to dive properly. Out we go, this is ours.
And they actually lose quite a bit of farm, right? You know, you're comparing the Nautilus with the Aphelios. You're not comparing the Senna, who is going to be playing that support item. So already 10 plus CS in the advantage. You're going to be feeling pretty good about that. And it does bring you much more of a true tank in that front line, because normally you look at this and you're like, well, you don't have Pantheon as a tank, and usually the tank supports are kind of more pseudo tanks. They're really reliant on having that stone plate active, and then outside of that, they're pretty squishy. But Zeyzal going to be able to build full tank items, and yeah, largely I've been seeing when it is these tank supports playing alongside the fasting Senna, it's just a rush towards things like Deadmans, which can be quite effective.
And right now, Bang is able to feel pretty comfortable. I got to point out, of course, yes, 400 free gold for First Blood, but even subtracting that, subtracting First Blood gold, he's still 100 over IgNar. So he's been very efficient in using that sickle and getting the damage output, going towards what I'm assuming is the very standard build of Umbral Glaive first, right? You're going to get that Sight Stone, you're going to be a complete and awesome ward killer, and still some lethality so that you can deal decent damage in team fights.
Yeah, there's just so much utility on that item. Not only revealing the wards, but allowing you to one-hit them is actually a really big deal, especially on Senna, who is a slow auto-attacker. Like, how long does it actually take you to kill those types of wards off?
Jiizuke stole it! So rude.
Thief! It's a support, it's okay.
Yeah, it's going to be all right. This is going to be early Ocean Drake picked up, just past 6.5 minutes in, grabs the souls as well. Bang's going to feel pretty comfortable. Look at that. Helps Svenskeren save an auto attack, knocks down the honey fruit. Good job.
What a pal.
What a pal. What a buddy.
Yeah.
What a guy.
All right, that's enough out of you.
All right, you're right.
You're on timeout.
Okay.
So, PowerOfEvil pushing this one in. Jiizuke going to be running back to lane here. He has hit 6, so now you have to start worrying about Jiizuke's roams even more. Anytime he is off vision, you have to worry about the potential for Taliyah to ult in. Obviously, Svenskeren still pretty far away from 6, and FlyQuest on both sides could be looking here. If you can actually find the charm, there's potential for that follow-up from Santorin and lethal damage, but you'd have to be willing to either commit your flash or ultimate to start the fight off, and not even sure if they are still here. Yeah, they're going to go for it.
Taunt flash, flash taunt, doesn't land, but the rest of it's going to. This is big damage. Jiizuke's instantly already gone.
I like it. It is a commitment of a lot of spells there. The taunt flash, the flash charm to follow that up. But once all of that lands, he's just gone. And this is a really good example of how to play around globals, is attacking the global. We actually saw this done excellently by TSM earlier today against C9, where, hey, you want to go for Shen? Great. We're just going to be in Shen's lane. He can't ult to himself, so you're not going to be able to help yourself out in that way. Also kind of interesting that it's actually Hex Flash here on PoE. So it'll be fun to see if he does look for any sorts of plays with that. Playing out of vision here, this was a lot of patience for FlyQuest. Actually was waiting for IgNar to show up, and then a 3-man collapse. Svenskeren spotted. They know he can't respond to this. So flash taunt, hits that, charm connects, the Q is guaranteed. Would have had to be able to flash very early there from Jiizuke to get out, because once some of it lands, it's all going to.
Yeah, and I actually kind of like the flash first. It, guaranteed the minimum amount of time before your opponent can react. You just, as soon as your model will then connect, you guarantee that it hits. So not enough time for Jiizuke to react and flash, but now a 2v1 on the top side. Viper is rooted. He is flashless, and a bit of damage back towards Bang. He's taking it close. That's going to force Bang's flash away, but still the kills come through. Evil Genius is 2-1.
Yeah, really close there from Viper to actually getting a kill back. If he could have landed that Q3, might have been able to take him down. But still, EG on the earlier rotation. They have the Rift Herald available. Svenskeren got that in the aftermath of that initial mid lane kill. So we'll be able to drop that top lane. They're just going to try to knock down the first 2 plates and then probably drop it.
Yeah.
And should be able to finish off this tower if they want to go for it.
Now, Senna not the fastest turret killer, but it's going to be good enough as the Herald is summoned at a pretty good clip, and this turret is all but gone.
Also worth noting, it is going to be the AP Nautilus. So he's actually going for Protobelt. That is going to be the Kindle Gem plus the Amp Tome there. Would be shocked to see anything else. Pretty cool stuff. This is actually what we saw IgNar do, so Zeyzal kind of taking a page out of his book, and we'll see how effective it can be. Because the AP Nautilus is something I think people kind of know a bit about, thanks to Doomby, and it is so much added damage for any backline dive. So not only do you now have the Pantheon as well as the Taliyah flying in, but the ultimate from an AP Nautilus is adding a pretty significant amount of damage and can make it even easier for them to set that up, because now you don't just need the stun coming through from a Pantheon to set up the side of the shove. You can actually set that up easily with Nautilus too and combine that burst there.
The items keep ticking up. Evil Genius is 500 gold in the lead. That is the turret, mostly claiming that one. And nice by PoE, Hex Flash is in place just to look cool. Does not have the chance of running for the extra move speed on Summoner spell usage. Doesn't have sorcery secondary, so he's not going to get that extra little bit, but still going to feel pretty comfortable as we've now swapped the lanes around. The duos are on the top side. There's no turret for EG to kill, but they can keep their lane alive. They're not going to lose any gold on either side.
Yeah, but we're seeing PowerOfEvil just keep Jiizuke pinned under his turret, in part thanks to Santorin and IgNar and their play in that mid lane, but this is what you want to do. If Taliyah is stuck under the turret, you're going to have so much trouble, and Taliyah actually has much higher mana cost. This is a really old nerf to Taliyah that happened a long time ago, but you can see no really additional mana items kind of have been built up besides that Dark Seal. So Jiizuke is constantly PowerOfEvil has been pushing in, utilizing the Lost Chapter there to refill the mana, getting a blue buff, and just keeping him pinned.
And sometimes Jiizuke's item choice, right? He rushed Sork Shoes, which is move speed. It's Magic Pen for burst damage, for getting over to a squishy, but if he's locked on without mana, he's not getting to that squishy. Taunt's gonna land, big damage right now. Ult at the top, doesn't matter. PoE picks the kill onto Zeyzal, but here comes Pantheon. Santorin, not gonna live either. Bang already on a killing spree, and Evil Genius is feeling comfortable.
They will be able to trade a kill back, but it does cost them Kumo's teleport. That's traded kind of pretty evenly back and forth as far as the summoner spells. Actually, it looks like FlyQuest committed more, so gonna be pretty happy about getting a kill back there. Dragon is now spawning. Santorin should be able to get down and answer this. Jiizuke doesn't have ultimate. He is up in the top side, so we'll see if FlyQuest want to try to rush this to force the hand of EG a little bit.
A whole bunch of teams sitting at 6 and 7 wins in Academy League, so it'll be fun to watch that one. But now FlyQuest want to make the big play. 2 versus 4 right now. Is it gonna be enough? Viper can't find the sweet spot, and IgNar's forced to run. But Viper's gonna drop now as well. A quick 2 for 0. FlyQuest opened it, and they could not close it. Still trying to fight though, but tanky frontliners are around. WildTurtle being chased. Jiizuke flashes for the solo kill. EG 3-0 in that fight.
They just went so early. I feel like we need to see a replay on that. I want to know what they had vision of. I thought they were aware of how many members from EG were in the area, but Turtle is farming by his turret. PowerOfEvil is far away, and they're like, all right, let's go. How is that ever going to work out?
Maybe they didn't have vision. They thought there were only 1 or 2 there.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah.
All right.
What do they see?
Okay, so they don't have, they saw the Pantheon, they saw Bang walk by, they saw the Blast Cone, or actually the Vision Plant get hit, so they should know there's 3 there, at least. Zeyzal is running back from base, so there's actually 4. So they were opting into what they should have known was a 2v3, but even if Zeyzal wasn't there, that was not even remotely close. Santorin and PowerOfEvil were quite far away. If they had a bit more patience, that could have been a really great fight. Like, if you go for that engage, when PowerOfEvil is there and when Turtle is there and Santorin is there, and you can follow up and crush them, because they didn't know where Viper was. So that was actually a really clever spot he got himself into, but I'm not sure if they just overestimated their damage or if, you know, IgNar ulted early and then he's like, well, I guess I gotta go, but that was really mishandled from FlyQuest, and that cost him a lot because it's not only the Dragon, it's a number of free kills.
That's an ouch. You got almost a 2,000 gold difference now, and EG got that second Drake as well. And in a decent clip, right? We're going to be a sub 25-minute Infernal Soul. If they can keep that control going, that's going to look nice for them. We'll see what FlyQuest wants to do, though. They're still playing aggressively. PoE, Santorin heading to the bottom side. This could be a 4 versus 1. And you can see Kumo is forced to give up the turret. Plates have not yet dropped. 10 seconds till they're gone. FlyQuest can cash in at least 1.
So to check in on Bang here, he does have 53 souls already, so working towards that 3rd range upgrade.
I got him a line IgNar for not autoing that turret at least once. They failed to get the 5th plate on that turret by a half second.
Yeah, that is too bad. Quite a bit of gold missed out on there, but still overall I'm pretty happy. Look at that burst from Jiizuke.
Whoa! Jeez! All right. Global's at work. Thank you, Senna.
I think you're just surprised, Scream.
A little bit. I mean, the first was like, wow, nice hit on Jiizuke, good trade. Then I was like, oh, he's going to die. Okay, he flashed.
Good stuff. Keep it up.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Not my finest work.
It was. It actually was, yeah.
Brett, really, that was
that's your peak.
Peak
right
casting.
Peak casting. It's definitely better.
Great.
Take that for what you will.
Yeah, I know exactly what that's supposed to mean, and I'm not happy about it. All right, this is now
you're fantastic.
This is now a cast of frenemies. We're on the downside of the relationship right now. Meanwhile, Zeyzal drinks water after that sick burn that I need more than him. We have the Herald going down. Evil Geniuses, once again, feeling pretty comfortable. Mild applause of how hard that fight was.
little golf clap from the crowd.
Yeah? There we go. We got a woo. See? You're taking after me now.
Oh, now you're just baiting.
I am baiting. It's
Yeah.
true.
All right, a couple more souls going the way of Bang. Out to a pretty good start on the Senna, and that is another thing that is really, really strong about just playing Senna as a support instead of the farming champion, is you can focus so much on harassing that you're picking up souls off of that. You're also picking up additional souls because there's a higher percentage chance to spawn them when you're not farming the waves. And the Proto Belt's complete on Zeyzal, so all things considered, bot lane going great for EG. Game does feel like it is in their hands right now as they have that true dragon lead and will be working towards potential soul, but at the same time, I do think FlyQuest have the ability to really kind of answer a lot of these plays. One thing that is concerning to me, though, is look at the level on IgNar. He is 6, and Zeyzal and Bang are 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Like, you are so far down, and yes, that experience, it's not like he's just trolling. It's going to WildTurtle. WildTurtle has spent more time by himself, but if you spend this much time as a tank support who has to be in the action, just warding and moving around and covering lanes, you become irrelevant, right? Like, you just get one shot. You taunt in and then you instantly die, and that's your whole fight. And that is a problem. It's more okay if you're playing an enchanter support who can sit in the back, but as a tank, you actually need the base stats. It's very important to get experience.
Release kept up in gold income. The actual support item gold is almost identical to what Bang has, but I again agree the levels do matter. We'll see when he can catch up. At least has the ulti. We'll see what happens afterwards as the tank stats are low, and Bang gonna clear some of the wave, let Zeyzal get the rest, and more souls for him. Bang has crossed the 60 soul mark, so 675 range is what he's got now. Swifties are in, second major item going through. You want to point out, you should really never go Zerk Greaves on Senna. She essentially has 300% bonus attack speed already. Makes Zerk Greaves very, very bad. Don't buy them. Thank you. That's the PSA for today.
See the combo there shown off from PowerOfEvil. You hit them with that Glacial Augment slow, and you're trying to guarantee that your charm will land, and hoping that that is the combo. Interesting to see that he is actually not going for Sork Boots, though. He's going for CDR Boots here instead. I am going to guess this is because he feels, reliant upon the Summoner spell cooldown. He wants to have funds up more often and is worried about kind of getting 100 to 0 there, so maybe the answer.
All right, well, big chunk goes down, and slowly but surely they will knock down this Herald. I will say, if you're fighting a very, very long fight, if you're not one-shotting, 10% CDR is about as much DPS gain as 18 Magic Pen will give you.
Yeah.
If you are getting your second and third W and your second and third Q off, if it really does go long enough that you aren't just bursting, then you can kind of get there. You can actually have a DPS win in that regard. And now PowerOfEvil is on a ward, and EG are coming for him. Gets the slow, does not get the charm. And careful, has to get the ult down just in time, does not get knocked back by Jiizuke.
We'll see if they actually try to commit to the fight now, because otherwise you're down your ultimate on your mid laner, which makes it a lot harder for Ahri.
Second charm, second Q, decent damage on Svenskeren, but not a ton just yet. As WildTurtle's gonna get flashed on. He's gonna be found out by Zeyzal, so there's a chase through. They're gonna get him, the ult over the top as well. Turtle fought for a ward and gets punished for it.
Yeah, really good pick there by Zeyzal, committing the flash. Remember, this is the AP Nautilus, so a lot of damage actually coming through from him. And with the Ignite, the Proto Belt, the Q and Ultimate all landing there on Turtle, and he gets lit up. This will be EG grabbing another dragon. They are now on Soul Point. And FlyQuest are going to have to worry about that for the rest of the game. They're going to be having to contest at all of these dragons, and when it is 3-0, it's so much, I think, kind of weighing on your mind that one pick can cost you the game. So let's watch this one more time. After already having forced out the ultimate here from PowerOfEvil, Turtle looking for it, flash, Q does land right into the ultimate, another knockup, the Pantheon stun coming through, so much chain CC, even pulled him by Mordekaiser, so it's really no opportunity for him to flash once he got hit by that initial hook. Would have had to instantly flash before he even got grabbed by that.
What's gonna happen, to be honest? So, look at the game state we've got right now, and it's Evil Geniuses comfortably ahead. Solid 2,000 gold up, third Drake already picked up, and you know what that means. 24-minute Infernal Soul is on the docket. And burst damage is what this team wants. It's squishy access, and as we already pointed out, there aren't really any tanks on FlyQuest here.
Yeah, there's not a lot, right? You can kind of play that pseudo tank as Aatrox if you are doing well, you are kind of just life drain tanking a lot of this, but that can become very, very difficult from behind, especially. PowerOfEvil now just trying to spread the map a bit, trying to get themselves in as good of a position as they can before this next Dragon fight, which honestly may decide the game if EG can grab it.
Pantheon over the top, gonna have to get away from that one, does not find the slow. Has to burn the ulti, but it's a shorter cooldown for PoE, so can't really hate that.
I mean, he's already on 45% CDR, so it's under a minute on this cooldown. So that is not going to be that big of a deal that it's forced out. And as you say, Svenskeren will be on a longer cooldown, but he does have a lot of CDR himself.
A couple of the cards taken by Santorin, but the now more beneficial ones go to Svenskeren at the very end, and they keep that same gold difference. And honestly, I don't even mind a holding pattern for EG. They know they've got a win condition. Yeah. Or at least a big amp up towards it, coming up in 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think they're sitting in a great spot. It's just going to be a matter of how well can you maintain this advantage. You know, it's okay to kind of sit around as long as you're going to be able to grab that next dragon, but you have to have a plan to then kind of push the game forward past that, and especially if you're not able to do it.
Right now, Zeyzal's the mid laner. Solo turret gold for Zeyzal, beautifully done. 3-0-3, best beard in the business. As now top lane is under fire. Jiizuke! Woo, woo. Nearly takes down IgNar. Still would have lived even if he was level 6, but you can see that those burst combos get pretty close.
Yeah, getting chunked very low there was IgNar. And it's going to be an abyssal second here for Zeyzal, so partially to amp up his team's damage. You know, when you're looking at purely defensively, I would kind of feel like, hey, you probably want armor more than Amar here, but I do think the added bonus of being able to amp some of the damage from Jiizuke as well as Kumo is pretty nice.
And we just keep waiting to find the openings. When can FlyQuest get their way in? It's been them getting chunked out by Jiizuke. It's been them looking to split push and getting stopped by Svenskeren. That Pantheon ult almost back up already, as you mentioned. Pretty good CDR, 30% with Black Cleaver and the Warrior Enchant.
And they're not really winning inside lane anyway. They're just kind of pushing in the wave. PowerOfEvil was getting a bit done. A nice little sidestep there on the charm from Jiizuke. But, you know, especially over on the other side of the map, Kumo is winning out here. I do think he has a nice set of items to actually deal with the Aatrox. Healing reduction, pretty important there. And going a bit tanky early on as Mordekaiser can be very effective against these types of champions, especially when it's physical damage jungler plus top laner. You're going to get a lot of benefit out of that. And then Leandry's just straight up so strong. You know, in combination with your passive, if you have someone in that ultimate, really can get an incredible amount of damage out.
Again, Svenskeren finds some opponents, but feels safe enough to knock down the ward himself as the rest of EG might come over. Can they find the opening on Santorin? Not quite, as they've all run away. That means the ward's going to be claimed without much issue, and we're now only 1 minute away from the Infernal Dragon coming up. We know EG wants it. We know FlyQuest must fight for it. I think they risk losing this game in the vast majority of cases. PoE does not have TP. He will have to walk his way down. The only teleport on that team is IgNar, who's not going to be doing that, and Viper.
Yeah, I mean, if they can grab the soul here, kind of unlike the situation we saw last game from CLG where they got Infernal Soul but couldn't close, there's lots of hard engage, right? You have Pantheon, Taliyah, Nautilus, so many ways to actually start fights and utilize the advantage that they have built up.
And I got to point out inventories here because, again, we're Drake up in 15 seconds, and it's EG who've done a better job of actually claiming vision control. They've got more control wards in inventory. This one that IgNar's put down is a defensive one, so he can't fight the river himself. It's actually only Santorin who can put an aggressive ward down. It makes me feel a bit more comfortable on EG's side. The sweeper will not see that brush war, but they might find the slow. Zeyzal can't find the anchor, but will there be a re-engage? That's going to be another slow coming in, but no engage. That's now the active item cooldowns. Gone for PoE. Kumo has to be respectful as Viper gets some decent damage. The charm doesn't quite land. Mordekaiser gonna land that Q. Anchor not gonna come down. PoE over the wall. Panda doesn't find the target either. But it is FlyQuest pushed away.
Yeah, it feels like a replay of the last time where PoE gets his ultimate forced out before the fight starts. And now Ahri, no actives, no ultimate available. I don't know how well FlyQuest can really fight this. It's going to be down to a big taunt.
Taunt, flash, over to the back line, trying to find Jiizuke, and they can't quite do it. There's the ult over the top. It's 1-2 for 0 so far. EG just are not stopped in Viper. One boot of the Kumo does not get anything done. A 3-for-0 team fight. The Infernal Dragon Soul going over, and EG are here to fight.
Yeah, that was desperation from FlyQuest with PowerOfEvil. Your strongest member not having those abilities available, not having his cooldowns available, it was so unlikely that they would actually be able to follow up on this taunt flash. So it is a great taunt flash, but There's no ultimate from PowerOfEvil to follow up. Turtle is quite far away, so is IgNar going to be able to finish this kill off with only the assistance from Viper? And that's really what it does come down to. You know, they can't actually get the rest of their members in range because the cooldowns weren't available. So Jiizuke flashes back, absorbs a lot of that initial damage. Kumo will win that 1v1 almost every time against Viper in the ultimate, and comes out to an already won fight. They grab Soul, 3-0 in the kills.
Yep.
EG, full control.
A lot of reason that top flash doesn't even work is, you know, as you mentioned, the team is split up, and Yui, who is out of cooldowns, right, can't even dash to get over there. So there wasn't follow through, and Evil Genius is in the most comfortable position they really could be in right now. Game seems almost unlosable. The gold lead doesn't look that big, but they've just been in such control.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how FlyQuest get back in.
Their setups have just been way better too, right? You know, like you talked about the vision control, but it feels like they are more organized around that pit. FlyQuest feeling, perhaps due to composition, that they have to find these angles. But when you're looking for flanks and when you're having yourself kind of out to the side, as often PowerOfEvil has been around that dragon pit, you run the risk of getting spotted and then having to blow your ultimate before the fight starts. And that has happened 2 times in a row, and 2 times in a row, PowerOfEvil, as a result, not going to be that useful at that dragon fight.
You know, he can hope that he finds his way in at some point, but he's just not there yet. 1-0 and 1, 100% KP, but not a lot being accomplished overall by FlyQuest as top's been pushed in.
And checking in one more time, Bang approaching 100 souls, not quite at it yet, but is up at 700 attack range and will be boosted up again here once he grabs a couple more. So scaling very, very well. And when you add the Infernal Soul into a champion like Senna with that very, very long range, who kind of has the easy access of that application, it becomes more effective because you can just proc it constantly.
Yeah, a lot of raw AD as well. Just generally speaking, that math tends to be positive for you. And now we can see the Baron setup start to begin. Bang uses Sweeper when he's not using his active item for it. That, of course, went on cooldown, the Emerald Glaive, so swept out some more, knocked some more stuff down. EG just completely in control here. I like this Weaver's Wall. Jiizuke guarantees no one's going to be around to stop this push. Indeed, no one is. And look at that, turret number 4 is claimed.
Yeah, and they're losing that turret on the bot side, too. It does look like it's going to be a fight, though, between Viper and Kumo.
And here comes the rest of the squad. Viper has been hit with the damage. Here comes Shen over the top. It's going to be enough to save him. And Svenskeren going to be taunted as well. Bang tries to turn it around, and Viper goes down to Kumo. A second over there as well. EG's globals are better, and they win every fight everywhere on the map.
Yeah, that Bang ultimate coming through was so big. The shielding out of Senna really making a big difference in that one. And now, with 2 members down, likely going to be the inhibitor here.
Looks likely. Flash ult comes in. They're going to find the claw backwards. And WildTurtle has been tamed. That's going to be a second kill coming through as the inhibitor turret drops. Eventually words will come in. Anchor's going to land. A cleanse. A dash backwards. PoE barely alive. He at least buys some time, but the inhib will still fall. IgNar respawns, but it's 5v3. You can do nothing here as FlyQuest.
Yeah, they're going to be able to back it up, and EG looking great. Really have kind of checked all the boxes in this game. Full neutral control, pushing in. And I think they're just going to reset. You could already see assist pings coming out from EG over towards that Baron pit. That is going to be the next clear choice. You knock down that Baron and that bottom inhibitor, which will be the best one for helping you take down the Baron. And here is the initial fight. Kumo just kind of tanking it up. Has a lot of armor, plus that shield he can pop. Tanking additional hits so Svenskeren can get something done. But with the Shen ultimate coming through, it looked like, hey, FlyQuest might be able to turn this. Bang, though, over the wall. The additional shielding coming out from the Senna ultimate made it so no one from EG falls. He's starting to heal everyone back up, utilizing those Qs. And then Zeyzal able to find the pick on Turtle, grabbing them in the inhib, and now it's over to the Baron.
Yeah. You know, EG got the memo that FlyQuest were the #2 team in the LCS. What they took that to mean, though, was they're allowed 2 kills and 2 turrets, and that's it. And so far, EG have held to that promise as the souls come down, and you got to imagine Baron is soon.
I mean, you pointed out that there's only 2 teams inside Cloud9 that have actually taken down FlyQuest.
Yep.
Well, EG looking like they're going to go 2-0 over FlyQuest here. They seem to have had their number thus far this split.
Svenskeren maybe found out here. Reinforcements, though, on the way, and the charm couldn't land on the slow target channeling E.
DB.
Here comes the flank. Here comes the play. This is the one FlyQuest must win. Flash gets away from Senna, but they will still knock down Santorin. Reinforcements not in a good spot. He can't cancel it. And Viper's about to be defanged. IgNar running away, but he's not going to do anything else either. Weaver's Wall comes over. He's going to find some damage. He's going to get those second kills across. And that's going to be almost the ace because WildTurtle is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, you can see the super minions are actually on the Nexus turrets right now.
Oh.
They stopped Turtle's base.
He's real dead here. Jiizuke's going to find the knockback. He's going to find 2 solo kills on Turtle in the same game. The ult to close it out. Evil geniuses handily knocked down FlyQuest.
Yeah, let's see how quickly they can close this out. Multiple members are respawning, but they should be able to get there in time.
Yeah, this is the low-tempo game end as we call it over. He kicks them back, going for the wave clear. Still a 5v2. EG got the ace. And now as they're back in the fountain, we were right all along. Only 2 kills, only 2 turrets. Number 2 team who? EG takes the win.
Damn good game from EG. Really winning on all sides. Better vision control around the objectives, better objective control. Looked very coordinated as far as the team fights were concerned. This is a really impressive one for me. I think EG has got a lot to be happy about here. FlyQuest comes in as that number 2 team. EG knocks them down 2-0 head-to-head on the season. And also going to be keeping pace with some of these other teams that did get wins today. EG in that playoff hunt, well and truly.
Back to a tie for 6th right now. 5 games to play. They're tied for 6-7. That is that's the mark they're on right now. It's actually the record here as well. And sadly, Zeyzal's Fountain Dive gave him the 3rd kill, so I became a liar as well. But when we come back, Aphelios is standing by with Bang, so stick around soon. We'll see you then.
welcome back to the LCS, everyone. I am here with Bang after EG's super convincing win over FlyQuest. Everyone was looking at them as the #2 team, #2 seed and one of those strong teams, and you guys took them down pretty convincingly, deathless for you. So what did you think of the game?
I think we are on pretty much like whole time same page when we are in bad situation, like when we didn't have tempo, like when they have tempo, like we got less than them, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, let me think about it. Yeah.
Take time.
They got benefit or less than us, so I think that was huge.
And it worked out for you guys in the end in your favor. Something I wanted to ask about EG was that you guys have had a lot of 1-1 weekends. So what do you think EG is missing to find those consistent weeks?
I think we performed pretty bad because we are not on the same pace a lot. Like, so that was the reason why, I think.
So then for today, what put you guys on the same page?
I think it's just simple. We just practice as to be a team play. Yeah, that's it. So simple.
Simple, practice makes perfect. I wanted to pick your brain a little bit on the AD carry situation that's kind of going on in LCS right now. And we're seeing a lot of Academy AD carries, as well as a couple other Academy players being moved up, one being Team Liquid and CLG. So what do you think of all that?
Because I think it's this season came up with big changes with like Senna, Aphelios, like brand new champions. So that was pretty hard to know in competitive game. So that could be reason, I think. And also the patch is going like different to huge. So yeah, I think so.
And you take on CLG as your opponent next. What do you think of that team, and how do you think that matchup is gonna go?
Well, I just watched their last game, like 15 minutes game. So I think they are really focusing well. So we need to think about like macro things, and I think we are confident. Yeah, they played pretty well recently. So yeah.
Well, Bang, thank you so much, and congratulations again on your win. That is it for us here on the stage. But to break down that game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you, Aphelios. Not to be outdone by CLG, let's throw another upset onto the board in what seems like a day of upsets. Evil Geniuses coming out on top over our definitively second place team coming into the week, FlyQuest.
Yeah, this is the first time I could be upset with FlyQuest. Because
You sound excited.
I get to be upset.
Yeah, you sound happy to be
okay,
upset.
well, because
Take it away,
I finally
be
got to
upset.
that point where I'm like, all right, this is our second place. They're gonna do good. And then I know it's best of one, so I'll give them that.
Okay.
But this was the first time I could actually be like, all right, this is our second place. I expect some like really good games. But EG just actually took the game from early game all the way to late game. Like they kept control the whole time.
Yeah, and that's what EG seems to do best is early game comps when they had like LeBlancs and Lucians and all these different things that they're running. This was another great start to the game. They have seemingly the ability to make people lose their mind versus them, level 1.
That's a nice
That's a
donation.
good quality
It's
to
a
have
great
in
quality
League
to
of
have
Legends.
because you already got a kill and you're already starting to snowball through the bot lane when you have double globals from jungle and mid. And then, yes, you know, FlyQuest didn't go out completely, but it was mostly EG's favorite.
That was a quintessential FlyQuest play that we saw in the mid lane and what we would have wanted to see more of for them to come away with the victory. But it was this top side where things really begun to collapse for FlyQuest and where EG could find their wins.
Right, and that play you just saw was the very standard Rift Herald swap where the bottom lane recalled, so they knew bottom lane missing right now, and Viper gets caught. It's a kill on top of getting the Rift
Okay,
Herald.
explain this. Explain this.
This one tilted me really hard because FlyQuest are the ones with the Shen, a proactive Shen teleport, a teleport flank, and they're the ones that look like they got caught, James.
I don't
Excuse
get
me. What happened here? There's no communication there. There's no coordination on the side of FlyQuest when they're the ones with these proactive tools where they get the flank, they have Shen coming in, they should be attacking them, and then it's two people that walk into an entire team, and nobody from the rest of the team comes until they're already dead. It feels like they set the trap, they had this great game plan, and
and then they walked into it themselves.
Exactly.
Right?
slowly, yeah.
They dug the hole, they put the thing over top, and then they forgot that they dug it, and they walked right into it.
That's why Prawley's so upset with them, James.
Yeah. I wanted a different mistakes. I don't want those donation kills.
Yeah.
Right, and in a weird way, that replay there, I think, actually represents the expectation of the two teams in a reverse situation. Like, you expect Evil Geniuses, who has shown us throughout the split, and Bang even spoke to it, they're the ones who have been uncoordinated and out of sync so far throughout the split. But in that case, it was FlyQuest, not well coordinated. And then EG was very quick to punish. We have to give credit to them in that situation to say, no, the play was made on us, and we turned it on you.
Well, and I think also to talk about coordination, Taliyah Pantheon is one of the more coordination-heavy early game snowball comps. This is not like Jiizuke got 3 kills on LeBlanc, send him into a side lane, and let him do whatever he wants. Like, you still need to play well as a team from there. And that's why I think this is a positive direction for them, because while it is still early game styled, it does rely on them actually going and making plays as a unit.
It will be interesting to see, what more this Evil Geniuses team can do with just a couple weeks remaining in the regular split. It was mentioned that CLG is their next opponent, but who knows with the way that the league is playing today, what the results will be in the remainder of the weekend.
I think they were literally all upsets today. Except for there was one that was tied.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So Dignitas 100 Thieves is a coin toss. Dig 100 Thieves, they were...
I think Dig was lower because they've been on a loss streak. So even though their scores are close to the same, Dig's losses are more recent. I think StatSpot would ding them and make them the actual underdog. I think 100 Thieves was a favorite in that match.
No. They were tied. They were tied. Yeah.
No, not in standing. I'm talking about StatSpot.
Oh, in terms of who StatSpot chose,
Yeah,
because StatSpot goes actually by stock market.
Right, so even though they're in the same
record values.
standing.
So that's fair. If we're determining favorites via StatSpot versus record, okay, fine. But you are correct. They were even record coming in. That's neither here nor there, because today not only delivered us some spectacular cosplays, but also some spectacular carry performances. Today's assist of the day, though, is being awarded to the pair that set up the seemingly impossible, taking down Cloud9. Biofrost earns the accolade today for setting up some spectacular team fights in that TSM win over Cloud9. But special shout out to Broken Blade, who did just as much work.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have these massive, basically 5-man wombo combos, everyone's working together, but especially Bio and Broken Blade getting everyone together for the double bombs and the Xayah ults.
Yeah, State Farm assist of the day. Kobe, you came in a close second for State Farm cosplayer of the day.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Only edged out by Draven1 out there on the stage. As we wrap up the day, let's see how the teams stack up. Cloud9 suffered their first loss, but still have a clear hold at the top of the standings, while TSM's win over the first place team pushes them up to third place. Then we have Team Liquid sitting in fifth next to 100 Thieves. And let's take a look at how your predictions played out.
Let's not.
Yeah. Maybe we'll make this a quick one, because probably have the only correct prediction of the day in 100
Yeah, there's a
Thieves.
nice little bright spot there.
Yeah, oh, I'm
that's
tied,
the
though.
one.
Okay.
It's a beautiful
we're
little bright
tied?
spot.
Yeah.
This is
Also,
what
I
happened.
love that they kept Kobe's season average, like your season record in there, even though you've only predicted
I like how we
12
put
games.
Tyler one got it
Tyler
there.
won 0-4.
Oh, brutal! And Crumbs was alive with you.
Okay, so Crumbs is one up on us.
Wow, this was a very tough day.
He's 3 up on us.
A
We're
very
32.
in total, we meant just today,
yeah.
1 and 3. But Tyler won as well, suffering as most people did with their predictions.
That's what happens when it's upsets in all the games.
I feel like this always happens around week 6 or 7. It's like just when you start figuring it out, flips.
Yeah.
And you get one of these days where everything's wrong.
Here's a very surfacey level question, but does this day of upsets change the way you're thinking about the end of split standings at all? Each of you, I assume, has a top-ish 6 in your mind as we're nearing the end of the split. Did today shift any of that? Make you question?
So I already on the dive thought that EG was going to be the one to get into playoffs.
Okay.
So I think that one holds true. And Cloud9, I still think there's going to be number 1.
You think they'll make it?
So
I'm not sure.
yeah, I think
Their name is blue already.
I think between FlyQuest, TSM, and TL on who is the second best team, today did make it a little murkier.
Okay.
Because TSM had a great game to beat C9, TL loses to CLG, FlyQuest loses to EG. So now you're like, oh, wait, is it just hot TSM and the other guy's having a hiccup, or is this actually more indicative? As soon as we think we're getting a handle on those 3 teams, they just go in the other direction.
We at least have one more game they get to play this weekend. So today is like, it happened, but I want to see what their next game is going to look like before I can decide on any of these teams. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I want to have more confidence in the top teams.
Lots of runway to go as the LCS returns tomorrow with 100 Thieves versus Immortals to kick things off. FlyQuest staring down the barrel of an on-fire TSM in that second game of the day, then 3 more matches before we call it for Sunday. So specifically, kind of continuing that same conversation, which matchups tomorrow would maybe give you an indicator or start to, you know, again, give confidence or...
FlyQuest TSM.
Yeah, FlyQuest
Good. I
TSM.
want to see if Prolly will be more disappointed.
I'll be less disappointed.
Yeah, we need a Prolly meter.
They at
Like,
least have a
disappointment
hot
meter.
game yesterday, or TSM had a hot game today, so if they win tomorrow, I'll be like, woo!
Yeah.
This is just, you know, I mean, they already got 1-0. I think they can only go 2-0-2, right?
Yeah,
That's
so it's actually, you can pencil that in.
Yeah.
TSMW.
That's a good point. Do you think TSM wins against FlyQuest the same way they won against Cloud9? Or does it require a different look?
I think it's got to be through team fighting, same way that they beat C9. I think that looks like where TSM's strengths are going to be is they have early game comps and they can fight in the mid game. So I think they need to carry that forward going to FlyQuest.
And then here's one other little interesting query, which is TL was quick to take Doublelift out after a 2-0 weekend. Now suffering a loss here today to the last place team in the league. With a game on Monday night, where do you think TL's management and coaching staff head is at in terms of deciding whether or not you got to bring Double back in or give the young guy more of a go?
I don't think they're switching it up.
You don't think?
I
You
think
think
that
they're
would
gonna ride it
be
out?
too knee-jerk reaction.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't put that one all on tactical.
Oh, by no means.
Exactly. So I still think they're keeping him. They're giving him his time.
I mean, the benching started from lack of motivation, and I don't think TL losing one game changes Doublelift's motivation much. I think that needs time to build up. So, yeah, I think this is way too early for anything like that.
All right, fair enough. When we look at this kind of developing picture of the top 6, again, I'll remind people that we have a current 3-way tie for 5th place. That's Evil Geniuses, Team Liquid, and 100 Thieves. But behind them, right, just behind them, 1 win separated. You've got Dignitas, Golden Guardians, and only a few wins behind that, CLG. So again, it's still such a tight race for that very final spot within the playoffs.
Yeah, speaking of the predictions we were giving on the dive, I said Golden Guardians, he said EG, and we didn't get to see Golden Guardians play yet today, but they're also one of these teams who has made a roster swap. And it's looked decent for a bunch of the teams who have done it. You know, Win stepped up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I would like to
Stuff
see
working.
if that works as well for Golden Guardians, because it is such a tight race.
And I guess it's just interesting to me because we're in a situation where it feels like, I mean, it's obvious that so many teams are going to miss by just a win or two, right? Like, this is going to be a year where it stings probably more than any to not make it into the postseason.
I think that's why we're seeing so many changes to rosters right now, because everyone's like, if we just get that little bit more, you know, if we get sub in one person, we can squeeze out that win. Playoffs.
Yeah, that's what they're all hoping for, and they're making all the moves to try and get there. If you need more league action, head on over to twitch.tv/academy or youtube.com/LUL Esports for the Academy Showcase taking place right after the break. Before we sign off of the LCS, I want to highlight one more time our Week 7 partnership with Active Minds to promote healthy habits in gaming and keeping a positive mentality. For more information on this program and to hear some thoughts from pro players in the LCS, check out activeminds.com/LCS. Now for myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching. We'll see you after the break for the Academy Showcase and more LCS tomorrow.
Kumo, we gotta do what we gotta do, man. You gotta
do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you need to do.
See? Exactly what Dennis.
IgNar gets in place. This is him being rooted now as well, and that is suddenly Shen going down. But now a 2v1 on the top side. Viper is rooted. He is flashless, and a bit of damage back towards Bang. He's making it close. 2 versus 4 right now. Is it gonna be enough? Viper can't find the sweet spot, and IgNar's forced to run. But Viper's gonna drop now as well. A quick 2 for 0. FlyQuest opened it, and they could not close it. On flash over to the back line, trying to find Jiizuke. They can't quite do it. There's the ult over the top. It's 1-2 for 0 so far. EG just are not stopped, and Viper, one move to the Kumo, does not get anything done.